lot less rules, a lot more fun.
NASCAR has just unveiled the new NASCAR Classic Series, which is a rebranded version of the historic sports car series stock car division, which is like HSCRA. This is an IMSA race where the vintage cars are going to be kind of an accessory to the show. This is Greg. You might remember him from the Petty Shop videos we did a couple years ago now.
Yeah, it was almost, maybe a year and a half ago, yeah.
So what have you been working on with this car? You pulled it out of, I saw it covered in dust like it just came off the track.
Yeah, we had a customer that come to the shop and decided he wanted to run in the HSR NASCAR Classics by Petty's Garage, presented by Petty's Garage. Decided we were going to make the first race, which was VIR, and that was probably a month ago. And we flogged a car that Kyle had raced at Martinsville in 2006. Bought some stuff and found some stuff at the shop and put it together, and it's a true vintage 2006 Dodge Charger.
So does this chassis have asymmetrical frame rail heights?
No, it's actually got a raised right side rail. It's a little bit staggered. It was a left-hand turn car. But,
that's what I was wondering, if it's got the, you know, if it's not square, I guess.
Yeah, it's square. We moved the rails around left and right, up and down. You know, just from some weight distribution. You know, from heights. But other than that, the pickup points, you can make the geometry work however you want it.
So how exactly do you do that?
Well, really, it's basically your lower control arm lengths. So you change your lower control arm lengths so that they're equal length in the wheel and the tread widths and all that. So it's wheel spacer, control arm lengths. You can change the upper control arm slugs and the lowers and get your camber gains and all that symmetrical, you know, both sides. And a lot of times you'll see, depending on what a car was built for, this plate might be over here, it might be over here. So really it's just a function of where the arm's mounted or how much shim you got to run in it or not, you know, so it's not a problem that way. So you can make it work for these things.
So are there ever cases where you have to move around those points? Because I guess you could have the arm lengths wash out if the pickup areas are different, but then you would have different
camber curves or something. Yeah, so no, everything worked out on this car where we didn't have to cut anything off and change it, so it's good. So
well, that's convenient.
Yeah, it's just standard Hopkins car, so they were pretty, you know, I'll call it vanilla cars. You know, you could do a lot with them back in that day. So
did you work at Petty's when this car was raced?
Yeah, I was back. I started in '95 and was working there with them when we did all these. Yep.
What was your role in the car back then?
Those years probably as like a competition director. You know, we had 2 teams going, and I was, you know, sort of keeping everybody going to 43 and 45, and just making sure the shop flowed right. And competition side, we had engineering and everything else. There was a lot of growth back at that time. The COT cars were being created at that time. We started them in 07, right, you know.
Are these the same brakes they ran Martinsville with?
No, the brakes, the rotor sizes and all that are the same. The calipers probably just a little bit newer version caliper. You know, of course, always with the brake people, they're always coming out with something new. So pretty much the same style of stuff, same size.
Is this a flat tappet cup spec engine?
Yep. It's actually an old, you see somewhere on it, it said BD on it. Yeah, Bill Davis motor.
Bill Davis, Ernie Elliott water pump.
So Joey Arrington had that, and he's helping us with the engine and the power. It's a cup spec motor. It's 700 plus horsepower. Mid-Valley transmission, which was a little bit newer transmission than it would have had in it in the day. It's a single rail, but we were able to make all that fit in the transmission tunnel, so that's all good. All the headers, exhaust, all that's all current, you know, specs. Yeah. Petty chassis number 99, that's part of that. The dashes, that's all how we ran the dashes.
Did you make a new piece to only have one ignition box?
Yeah, in those days was sort of the changeover from 2 to 1, you know. So there were some cars we only had 1, some cars we had 2. So
I noticed in there the gas pedal is set a lot farther back than the brake pedal is. Is that driver preference?
A lot of times it is. This thing was that style gas pedal we actually ran in some of the cars. So it was something that was in one of the cars. We used it. And different drivers do different things with it. Mike was pretty happy with it. Mike Skeen's driving it, so you know he came and sat in the car. The seats, one of Thad's seats, so it's a newer seat than what we would have had in the day.
Did you have to change the rear end to one that was straight up?
Rear ends are rear ends a road course housing with about 1.5 degrees of camber in each side, negative camber. So that's and like I say, it's short track rear road course brakes. So
is there any tow?
A little bit of tow in, yeah, maybe an 1/8 at the most total. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
You run the same size fuel cell?
Yeah, this car actually has got a newer cell in it. It's an 18-gallon cell.
Oh.
So it's one of the, you know, just from a dates and stuff, keeping stuff safe on the safety side of you can't fudge on the safety, right? So everything has to be within spec on the seats, seat belts, the fuel cells, the fire bottles, things of that nature.
I saw in the Instagram videos this thing getting put together. The shop looks like it's full of old stock cars.
Yeah, all of a sudden we filled up with them. Joey Arrington's got a Jimmy Spencer car that Kmart car that we're gonna put an engine in for him. We've got the Smiths, which is their Camaro here. They've got a Toyota Camry, which is a Clint Boyer car that's sitting there that they're getting ready to run VIR, Daytona. So they'll be busy doing some gear swaps and spring swaps. And we got a couple other cars here just put together.
Now that Joey's hauler there, that's the one that was the petty truck, wasn't it?
That is, yeah. That was the petty truck. They bought it in, I think, 1974 or 5 or something there. Or, I think they had a bill of sale over there. Of course, all that equipment, Buddy bought a lot of it from Petty's. So it looks petty because it is, and he'd paint his own red color on it.
Just the red wouldn't fade like the Dayglow would.
Yeah, and it was just different, right? So, you know, that's what Buddy used.
Do you like working on the stock cars in the shop more than the street car projects?
Yeah. Well, I'm a racer and been doing it all my life. So when you get to do something with that, it's a lot less rules, a lot more fun. You're competing at some level. The challenge of making sure, even though we're not wheel-to-wheel racing and doing that, just making sure the car's put together safe, everything's on it, nothing's going to fall off, nothing's going to break. That's a challenge, right? I mean, you got to pay attention and stuff. So definitely that's just part of what I've done all my life.
FR9 in this car.
Oh yeah.
You don't mess around. I wasn't expecting that.
These cars came with D3s, and D3s are rare. They only had a limited lifespan, and Roush was selling these for like $25,000 fresh when I bought this.
Wow, how long ago was that? I can't imagine touching one of those for 25 today.
Not today, no. They went from 25 26 to 27, and then they just quit selling them. And if you were to buy one today, it'd be $40-something thousand.
Wow.
So I bought it cheap. It was a cheaper option than the D3. Not any really more horsepower, but it's a smoother power. It's more it's got a more linear curve, where the D3 is real aggressive. So for guys that are, you know, have limited experience with throttle control, it's better. Whenever you stab it, you don't break the tires loose easily.
Interesting.
And I think these motors are more forgiving for misshifts and stuff like that. They build that into them because you got to run these things 2,000 miles in Cup before you can rebuild them. And we don't run them nowhere near that far before we refresh them. So it's a good power plant, and like I say, I hope they'll get back down in the price range. You know, I'd like to have some more of them.
I just can't believe there was ever a time where you could put an FR9 in a car because it was cheaper than a D3.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
A good D3 today is 28 to 32, and it was about that back then.
Wow.
I say there's just not any of them out there.
He's not about to say anything bad, is he?
He can say anything he wants to say.
What do you want to say?
I'm not allowed to say anything bad.
You're not?
I gotta be a good boy.
Today, anyways.
Today,
at least,
yeah.
Well, this camera's
yeah,
on.
as long as that camera's on. When the camera's off, then yeah, I mean, they don't tell what I'll say. Well, what do you think about this?
I have not seen this car.
No, I was talking about the IMSA NASCAR Classic event.
I haven't wandered out of these 4 pit stalls, so I don't really know what's over there. I'm more interested in these ones.
Okay, these are the only ones that's important.
Yeah, to me, I'd still be here regardless of who else was here.
Yeah, I was told that their gate was up 30%, and people said it was because of the Classic NASCAR being here.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They should just have classic only events with, you know, like car shows and stuff mixed in, make it all about the heritage.
I think that would be a good idea. I wish you'd put that together. You know, I'm in. The IMSA competitors, the Michelin tire guys have been over here. They were just, you know, they were just blown away at these cars and the speeds that they go, the sounds they make. Matter of fact, this is really unlike normal races we go to, where when we're not racing, it's really loud. It's like right now, we're talking in a normal voice. These other cars, they got mufflers on them for the biggest part. They're quiet.
Really?
Yeah, we've been here all day, and like I say, you don't really hear that much. Not here where we're at. So it's kind of quiet. But you know, those guys right there, even the what they have, their amateur class and IMSA's it's got a $5 million budget a year just for an amateur to run.
Wow.
You know, that's big money, and
that's
you know
crazy.
that doesn't include the price of the car. Yeah, so you know, somebody can get in one of these things, have a good time. It doesn't pay any money, but I think at the end of the day, with that kind of budget just to go do it, there's not enough prize money to even think about covering it. So
yeah, you'd never make that back.
There's absolutely no way. So anyway, I think we've been a fan favorite. We've had a lot of people come by asking about the cars and taking pictures and videos and so forth. And you know, it's a nice environment, and they did a really good job with this event, with the location of us in the paddock, with the schedule. They've been really on time with everything. When we go out, when we come in, you know, IMSA's done a great job. So, hats off to them. And,
You about to drive up to the grid?
yep, we got to go up there, and I think we got to do an interview.
DEA helicopter pilot.
You got more computers in that car than I got in my hands, and I have double the amount that I normally have.
You gotta have one to tell you what's going on with the car, one to tell you what's going on with the driving. Generally, hopefully they're both in sync and doing the right thing. As long as that one's green, then we're in good shape. When it turns red, then we know our laps are going slower. And over here is just our should I give you?
What was the origin of this particular car?
So this car is a Hendrick chassis that was built for Stuart Haas when they still had their alliance. Kurt Busch and Danica Patrick drove this car, and then as a SS body car, and then it went to Rick Ware, bought it from Haas, and then James Davidson drove it as a Camaro in this livery at Indy Road Course in Coda.
So it was always a road course car?
As far as, well, no, when it was at Haas, it ran Phoenix.
Oh.
So short track as well.
Do you charge your phone in here?
I wish I could.
You got a USB port?
Yeah, it's for the computer for downloading the dash.
Oh, okay.
So, yep.
Well, that's neat.
Yes, sir.
I've seen this car a bunch of times, never got to ask you about it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you stopping by.
I'm gonna get some chrome wheels for my car.
Gotta do it.
They're the best.
What the hell?
You guys got any lead on here?
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Whenever it's over, just come get us because he'll go back to his hauler, and then we got to take the golf cart to Victory Lane.
Okay. They left me with the golf cart. Bad idea. I'm kidding. It's a good idea leaving with a golf cart because I'm a good steward of vehicles. That's the story we're going with. thing about filming at VIR is the cars go by and then you wait like a minute and a half for it to happen again. I'm like trying not to waste footage, but it kind of happens. I just kind of go when I start hearing them again. But these guys get pretty spaced out, so that gap will be a lot narrower. I may just let this run the whole time. I don't know. weird. Looked like his car was running fine. Maybe the petty car will win now.
So this is you take a Hendrick car, Ricky Rudd drove, the Levi Garrett livery on it back in the day, road course car. It's got an SP2 motor in it. It's a great old car. It hasn't been on the track for years and years, so pulled it out. We had our share of issues this weekend, but it was getting better and better. Really a fun piece. We might just clean it up, do some stuff, and take it to Watkins Run. We're overheating, so I think the whole system needs cleaned out.
Yeah, the radiator's probably gummed up.
Yeah, I'm
all
sure
that
it
crud
is.
from inside blocks over the years.
Right. So I think that hopefully will take care of it. But it was a pretty sporty car. I was running it right up there with a Group 8 A car, Class A car. In the corners, of course, they outmotored me with an R07, but and in the corners and everything, we were really good. It's a handful because it's got a 12-to-1 box on it, so it's like steering a dump truck around the corners.
Those wheels were shiny when you left.
Well, I tell you what, I used a whole lot more brake than I should have, and I don't have any laps here. We haven't been up here in 6 years, and faulty practice and qualifying because of the motor, and then this morning another motor issue after 4 laps. So really, these are the only laps I got here.
Really?
Under power, yeah.
This is a scary place to not know where things are, especially up there off that main long straightaway back there.
It gets busy in a heartbeat. This is a lot of technical turns, off camber stuff. It's getting yourself set up for the turns ahead of you, not just the one you're making. If you make a mistake here, you've screwed up 2 other turns that you can't recover from instantly, and that just kills you. So track time is worth $1 million, and so just need more track time at this place. And maybe we'll be coming up here more, and I can get that. But I used to be that way about Road Atlanta, was intimidated by it, and didn't run that good. Now I've kind of got used to it, and I enjoy it. Look forward to going down there. So we need to get that way with this place right here, because it's a beautiful facility, and the IMSA bunch put on a good show.
What engine problems were you having?
In the 15 car, it mysteriously, the timing went retarded about 20 degrees. We couldn't find the problem, so we reset the timing. It felt good, and then it totally quit on me with a little bit of smoke. So I think the cam sprocket slipped and put it out of time, and probably a valve crashed into a piston. So pull out this car, and it's just a backup car, and it actually had a Sebring setup in it and a 411 gear, so I was killing the chip.
Yeah.
I mean, killing the chip. I still needed to, go about 8 or 9 tenths per length further into the turns, but you just all over the chip. So, but anyway, Jim and the guys did a great job, and so we finished this weekend off.
The coolest golf cart in the pits, probably.
Yeah, we get a lot of comments about it. Ray actually gives this cart to Bill, and if you notice, the serial number is 009.
Oh wow.
And I talked Bill out of it, telling him that, hey, we need this.
What did Mike win? Mike won something.
Oh.
Well done, Carlos. He found us on the podium. Well done.
This car was getting phased out, so this is the last 115-inch wheelbase car to win a NASCAR Cup race. I think it'd be pretty cool to get it fired up. Now it's got the dry sump setup still in the car, but it's got a crate motor they use for the show cars. Just a 350 Chevrolet motor in it.
Oh, that makes things easier. So it's not, it's still wet sump, but just put oil in it.
Right.
Make sure it's got pressure. Okay, that's good.
So one of these days on our venture, we're going to have to find a period correct motor for it, right? Put in there. We'll want to definitely use the car, if nothing else, for parade laps and stuff at some of the events, because it's really a cool piece of history.
Yeah, it is. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you're subscribed and hit thumbs up, just so the next video we post will come up on your homepage when you open YouTube. It doesn't cost anything. And if you like the retro style hats and shirts that we wear in these videos, you can find those at Stapletonautoworks.com. What we have on the shelf behind me is all we have. So if you see something that you like in your size, it may not ever come back. So we like to phase things out to get new styles in. We got stickers too, if you don't want a hat. Sticker for your toolbox, a race car, maybe an old race car, something like that. The Lake Speed shirt I was wearing in the video, we have those left in every size too. Go to Stapletonautoworks.com, check it out.